Resistance is something we teach infants. Must leave imprints of the militant in each and every sentence. Our words are relentless cause our people are defenseless. So we extend this, hoping we all comprehend this. Resistance is something we teach infants. Must leave imprints of the militant in each and every sentence. Our words are relentless cause our people are defenseless. So we
are Alex!
Who are we?
We are Alex!
Who are we?
We are Alex!
What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
We Are Alex is comprised of various organizations, professors, legal professionals, and other supporters that are supporting Alex Sanchez, who's a peacemaker and a human rights defender who is currently has been wrongfully accused of a crime he didn't commit and is currently in federal prison.
Alex Sanchez is a hero in our communities. From Los Angeles to Long Island to El Salvador, people have told me, people have talked to us about the changes that Alex has helped them bring in their lives. I researched deportation and gangs in Central America, and I remember a young man deported from Long Island told me, Alex Sanchez, he is my Martin Luther King, because Alex Sanchez represents the ability for one to change one's life and fight for social justice. For a lot of youth out there who are in gangs, who are in trouble, who want to change their life, they can't look to the lawyer, they can't look to the legislator, they can't look to the professor. They can look to someone who was in their shoes, who changed their lives. Alex Sanchez was that person. Alex Sanchez is the biggest ally that we have in our communities in changing the lives of youth. He is the biggest ally we have on fighting the problem of gangs, but fighting it with love, fighting it with knowledge, fighting it with justice.
Members and staff of Families for Freedom first came to know Alex because of his visionary immigrant rights work. Alex and his colleagues at Homies Unidos are one of the few organizations in the nation that have a keen understanding of the destructive impact of unjust deportation laws, particularly for people with criminal convictions. He is one of the first people to see that broken immigration and criminal justice systems in the United States were doubly disenfranchising immigrant families and their loved ones who face deportation. Alex's work for immigrant justice has been like all of his life's work. It has been a mission to restore human dignity and basic human rights to the lives of the most marginalized people in our society.
Many of us at John Jay College of Criminal Justice are deeply concerned about the conduct of U.S. District Court Judge Manuel L. Real, who at 85 years old has been presiding over the Central District of California since he was appointed by Lyndon B. Johnson in 1966. Our attention has been brought specifically to his conduct during the case of Alex Sanchez, the Executive Director of Homies Unidos, the largest gang intervention program in Los Angeles County, and a model for gang outreach worldwide. Sanchez has been charged with a federal racketeering count for his alleged role in the assassination of a man in El Salvador in 2006. Judge Real denied bail despite the fact that the community raised over $2.5 million in sureties and property deeds as a guarantee that Sanchez does not pose a flight risk. If he did leave the country, that property would be confiscated. Yet Judge Real claimed that the overwhelming community support proves that Sanchez has the resources to flee the country. It is shocking to us that it is shocking to us that they would prevent Father Gregory Boyle from taking the stand to present a 20-page declaration in response to the declaration against Mr. Sanchez by LAPD officer Frank Flores. The judge claimed that Father Boyle's testimony was, quote, irrelevant because it was about Alex Sanchez's innocence, when in fact it was relevant as a response to the judge's previous request for testimony on the content of 4 wiretapped conversations at the heart of the government's case. For example, the prosecution's case is that Alex Sanchez was a shot caller for Mara Salvatrucha, but the wiretapped conversations demonstrate that Alex Sanchez was an inactive gang member who was asked to join the phone calls in question because his life was being threatened. As Father Boyle's declaration argues, an inactive former gang member cannot be a shot caller, and if Alex Sanchez was not a shot caller, the government's conspiracy charge falls apart completely.
In terms of the Alex that I know, he is another one of those people that embodies the, quote, inherent dignity and the equality and inalienable rights embodied in the Declaration of Human Rights, which is what we're here to celebrate today along with Alex. And people throughout the world are celebrating human rights. Now, if you look at the case against Alex, if you look at the history of persecution of Alex, it embodies the exact opposite of what the Declaration of Human Rights is all about. And it flies in the face, not just of LAPD, of the local justice system, but of the United States itself. Which is why we're here to shame this country on the international platform. Because these images, these words go out nationally. We don't need the national media to communicate our message throughout the world now. You look at the case against Alex, the persecution, the Rampart scandal. I remember, I was there when those corrupt cops were killing people, beating people. I remember the false arrest after Rampart on Alex. I remember the beatings Alex would tell me about. I remember how his family was terrorized, aterrorizado. I remember the deportation of Alex Sanchez. I remember writing a letter in support of Alex. I remember the generalized harassment. And I'm reminded of, say for example, Article 1 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which guarantees the liberty and security of the person. Not in the case of Alex Sanchez. I remember Article 5, which guarantees protection against cruel and inhuman and degrading punishment. Not for Alex Sanchez. I remember Article 9, which guarantees that no one shall be subject to arbitrary arrest, detention, and exile. Not Alex Sanchez. So that brings me to conclude with Article 10 and the questions raised by Article 10 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Article 10 says, and I'll quote, "Everyone is entitled by full equality to a fair and public hearing by an independent and impartial tribunal." Alex Sanchez's case, as much as any case in this country, raises the United States commitment into question. It puts it into question. So having worked in a country like El Salvador, which Alex fled because of the human rights violations, we have to continue the work, not just for Alex, and not just because, as the young man said, we could be next. I've been in countries where that's the case, where our friends and our family were next. Remember, we're at a time when war equals peace, where people who are committed to trillion-dollar wars are being given peace prizes. People who say they're about hope are providing hope through banks, corrupt banks. They're aiding and abetting criminals. So we're in a very dangerous time, and Alex's case is not just about Alex, nor about just us, but about the mantle of leadership and human rights that the United States alleges.